This is how I work with roombyroom.com. The starting point is to determine technical resume of the project, which I will prepare as a result of the meeting with my customer. We will discuss styles, planning, decor, furniture, and so on and so forth. Just a regular beginning of every work. So today I'm gonna have to design a classic living room interior. Using the search on the website, I get plenty of projects from which I can choose 2 or 3 that suit me best. And the winner is a beautiful living room that meets all my technical requirements. And here's my purchase, an archive file. I'm decompressing it and looking at the content. So let's take a look at the contents of the folders. The folder named Indirect Illumination, for example, contains pre-calculated light options such as a radiance map and light cache. Another one is Models, which contains 3D models for XREF objects and scenes. The Maps folder contains raster textures. The folder named Preview contains rendered pictures. And finally, V-Ray Presets folder, which contains V-Ray render settings for calculation in different qualities, which is fine, preview, or medium. Now, let's take a look directly at the project scenes files. With XREF scheme, the file weighs around 1 MB. The file with all the models is 503 MB large. Well, impressive, isn't it? And here's the text document named Product Description. It has the information about the project's technical data, such as the number of vertices, faces, general square of the rooms, stylistics, and so on and so forth. Now, let's open our scene in 3D Studio Max. Well, we are opening the file version with the XREF objects. We can see that the objects in the scene are presented as low-poly proxy copies. The camera is animated between 2 camera shots. Now let's focus at the scene in the perspective view. We switch the ceiling layer off. We can see that the FPS value is rather high. Now let's work with the XREF objects in the scene. Switching on or off the enable option in the proxy object lets us either download or upload the original meshes of the model into the scene. It's actually very convenient that all the objects in the scene are snapped into logical chains. Well, just a very good substitute for using groups. Now, let's try customizing the project. First, we turn off the layers we don't need, leaving the walls only. Here, the very convenient grouping by layers becomes apparent. Now everything is ready to import the drawing of the room's plan. Here we go. Let's adjust the drawing to the walls using a snap by vertices. Then we change the shape of the walls in the edit mode by snapping the design to the vertices of the original walls. When needed, we can add more vertices for better and fuller linking. And the same with the other walls in the project. This is the outer level of the wall. It actually follows the outline of the original wall. Now let's open the contrast layer. We do not use the doors and windows of this layer in the render. Their purpose is to create wall openings. We change the size of the window. It's a parametric object as standard 3D Max object. Let's change the location of the door. And the same with the second door. We need to move the subsidiary walls where they belong in the plan. These walls are used to emulate the rooms outside the doors. We're changing the location of the background by moving it outside the window. We're changing the shape of the floor as well. Like the ceiling, the floor has to be snapped to the vertices of the outer side of the wall, because otherwise the light will leak. The structure of the layers is very convenient and informative, as you can see. Numbering and the logic names let you change the state of a scene rather quickly. You just need to enable or disable the layers. Now let's display and edit the other objects that need to be customized, like ceiling, friezes, and moldings. And we fulfill the task the same way. We edit vertex by vertex, adjusting every object to the plane. Let's do the molding now. We need to adjust the vertices with the original layout using snaps. The correct way of linking the molding is to the inside of the wall. Where it's necessary, we add more vertices. After that, we delete the segments we don't need, for example, at the spots where the doors will be. And there's our molding. Very simple. Now we're going to change the window's geometry. We add one more window segment using the symmetry modifier. We adjust the window with the edge of the opening, and then by shifting the symmetry axis we match our window with the size of the opening. And let's check the door's location. We adjust them according to the edge of the wall. Time to edit the curtain. We move it to a new place. The curtain is linked to the ledge, so when we change the size of the ledge, the curtain size changes too. Let's rearrange the furniture according to the plan. We are moving the objects to their new places. Since we use snapping in the scene, all the corresponding decor will automatically move too. So it's much easier to drag only the main objects, hiding the decor layer. We carefully adjust the objects, putting them in their new places. That's how we move the piano. And all the decor linked to it also moves along. We need to remember which object is the parent one. For example, plants have the pot as their parent object. That's why you need to move the pot, not the plant itself. Let's adjust the camera. We are moving to a new location. Here we go. And we do it in the animation mode with the top view. We make final settings in the camera window. Let's change the scene's materials. The textures are used in real-world scale, so to change the texture size, we only need to type in the new values in the texture options window. Remember that the UVW map modifier also uses the real-world scale mode. Having completed the preliminary setting of the materials, let's render the scene. We can use the already existing preset from the V-Ray presets folder. And to do this, we copy the path to the setting from the address field and paste it to the path field of presets in 3D Max. Because we use the preview preset, we get a much faster rendering than the one with default settings. It's rather quick and we can already evaluate the scene's look. Here I'm not very satisfied with the curtain's color. So I correct the color values for the curtains, and now we can calculate it in a better quality. The same way we did before, we copy the path and load the fine settings into the 3D Max V-Ray. And we render. Well, now the quality is good enough for me. With these fine settings you don't see any unexpected grains or spots or any other problems, so we can make the final adjustments and make the final render. The project is done. For only $45 I get an easily customized template with wonderful models and textures.